Another round of airstrikes in Syria and Iraq. U.S. military forces using bomber and fighter aircraft to conduct 10 airstrikes over just the past couple of days. Now, this comes as a UN expert that is monitoring terror groups says kidnappings have become what accounts for a cash cow. Now, take a look at this. ISIS raking in up to $45 million in ransom payments for hostages, and that was last year alone. Let's bring in Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters. He's a Fox News strategic analyst. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Heather, and may I please start by wishing the best possible Thanksgiving to all our men and women in uniform around the world.
Yes, around the world, and all of their families who are here at home as well. Well said. But let's talk about this and ISIS and the money revenue that is coming into these terrorists. And this is big business when it comes to hostages.
Right. Well, taking captives for ransom, taking hostages for various purposes, has got an old, if not honorable, tradition, Heather. It goes back to the ancient world, to the dawn of mankind. The difference today is that it's global big business. Islamic State is really perfecting it, but Al-Qaeda engages in it. Locally, Jabhat al-Nusra does. Also, drug cartels do. In Mexico, drug gangs do it. They're also snatch and grab operations. It's a really easy way for local thugs to make money, but Islamic State sees it as a way to really fill the coffers. And again, we have problems dealing with it, because the United States has the correct policy. It's a harsh policy, but correct, in that you don't pay ransoms. But we are undercut by even our closest allies who do pay ransoms. And when you pay a ransom to get somebody free, no matter how worthy that individual, you only guarantee that there will be more kidnappings. Now, how do you deal with these kidnappings? It's tough. I said it goes back a long way. As a young man, Julius Caesar was kidnapped by pirates in the Mediterranean. When he was finally ransomed out, he did the right thing. He went back and killed every one of them. You can't treat this as a law enforcement problem. When the kidnappings are on such a grand scale, when they're raking in $45 million involving beheadings, international threats, it's a military problem. And the response has to be absolutely brutal. You can't bring them to court in the District of Columbia or in Manhattan. You kill them. And
Colonel Peters, when you say that, I'm wondering what you thought when just last week President Obama said that we need to review how the United States responds when its citizens are taken hostage in light of all of the beheadings that have happened recently due to ISIS. And what do you think he meant by that, and what do you think he's contemplating?
Well, it's Washington speak. When you say in Washington you're going to review something, it means I don't have any idea what the hell's going on here. And they are confused because, I mean, sure, Obama wants to free the hostages. We had a chance to rescue hostages this spring. The president wouldn't give the green light for the mission. Delayed and delayed. Then we saw more beheadings. And so there is no easy fix here. But believe me, if you don't take a hard line, you won't get anywhere. And let's remember, you know, the president, in several of his early speeches, made a point about how Islam goes back to the founding of the American Republic. Well, it does in the sense that one of our first international problems was with the Barbary pirates, Islamists of their day in the Mediterranean, taking Americans hostages for ransom. And under Thomas Jefferson, certainly no raging conservative, we built a new fleet and we went to the Barbary coast and killed as many as it took for them to knock it off.
All right, Colonel Peters,
that's how you do it.
I'm so sorry, I have to cut you short because we do have some breaking news that we need to talk about, but thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Heather.
Heather, thank you. From Washington now, we get this word from the Association.